자, 이 새로 나온 책 AD 영어학습법. 그냥 맨날 사라고만 그러고 내용을 설명을 안 드렸더니 궁금해하시는 분들이 많더라고. 매일같이 습관적으로 요셉이야기를 영어로 풍동암송 강의 듣고 하지만은 옛날식 사고방식에 빠져서 들어갖고는 효과가 그렇게 강하게 나타나질 않아요. 왜 그런가 하면은 우리가 일제 때부터 내려오는 그 영어의 미신이 있거든요. 전 국민이 거기에 빠져 있어요. 거기 빠져 있는 상태로는 이 성경 말씀을 읽어도 효과가 좀 약할 수가 있어요. 그래서 이 책에다 이제 그런 거를 자세하게 썼어요. 굉장히 읽기 쉽게. 그래서 그걸 이해하시고 영어 문장의 원리가 어떻게 된 것인가도 설명을 해놨으니까 그것도 읽어보시고 깨닫고 읽으면은 이 강의 들으시는 게 훨씬 더 효과가 있습니다. 이거 읽는데 얼마 안 걸려요. 빨리 읽는 사람은 1시간, 천천히 읽는 사람은 2시간이면 읽는다고 하더라고요. 내가 워낙 잘 썼거든, 쉽게. 주문은 어디서 하시는가 하면 여기 밑에 댓글창에 보면은 주문하실 수 있는 곳이 나와 있어요. 그래서 그 주소를 눌러서 인터넷으로 주문하시면은 이틀 뒤에 딱 배송이 옵니다. 아시겠죠? 안녕하십니까, 정철입니다. 정철의 요셉이야기 영어로 통독 암송 92번째 시간입니다. 말씀은 Genesis 41:39 창세기 41장 39절 말씀입니다. 자, 다 함께 구해칠까요? 준비 시작. 성령 충만 영어 능통 와. 자, 지난 시간의 말씀을 다시 보면은 The plan seemed good. 그 플랜은 좋은 것 같았습니다. To Pharaoh, 파로에게 and to all his officials, 그의 모든 신하들에게 좋은 것 같았습니다. So, 그래서 Pharaoh asked them, 파로는 그들에게 물었습니다. Can you find anyone like this man? 이와 같은 사람 누구라도 찾을 수 있습니까? One, 그 사람 in whom 그 안에 is the Spirit of God, 하나님의 영이 충만한 사람. 이런 사람 어디 가서 찾을 수 있나요? 자, 들어볼까요?
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
자, 봅시다.
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph,
Then, 그리고 나서 페로는 said to 조셉에게 말했습니다.
Since God has made all this known to you.
Since God, since, 여기서 since 그러면은 보통 뭐뭐한 이래로라고 알고 계시는 분들이 많은데 실제로 영어에서 보면은 이니까라는 뜻으로 쓰이는 경우가 굉장히 많아요. 이니까, 여기서 이니까야. Because가 이제 이유를 나타낸다고 알고 있는데 Because는 이 뒤에 나오는 이유가 아주 필수적인 그런 이유일 때 because가 나와요. 그런데 since는 모든 사람이 다 알고 있는 이유. 그거를 다시 언급할 때 보통 since를 씁니다. since이니까 God has made all this. 하나님이 이 모든 것을 known to you. 너에게 알려지도록 하였으니. 이런 말이야. God has made all this. 이 모든 것들을 known to you. 너에게 알려지도록 하였으니.
There is no one.
There is no one. 아무도 없도다. 어떤 사람이?
So discerning and wise as you.
No one인데 so discerning, 그렇게 분별력 있고 and wise, 현명한 as you, 너만큼 분별력 있고 wise한 사람은 없도다. 요게 discerning and wise가 조셉이 이 페로한테 했던 말이죠. 그러니까 look for a discerning and wise man 이렇게 했잖아요. 페로는 임금님께서는 분별력 있고 현명한 사람을 찾으셔야 될 겁니다. 이렇게 말했는데 그 조셉이 했던 말 그대로 받아서 There's no one, 아무도 없느니라. So discerning and wise, 그토록 분별력 있고 wise, 현명한 누구만큼 as you, 너만큼 분별력 있고 현명한 사람은 없으리라. 왜? 그 이유가 뭐예요? 위에서 말했잖아. 하나님께서 이 모든 것을 너에게 알게 하셨으니 너만큼 discerning and wise한 사람은 없으리라. 이렇게 딱 말을 했어요. 짧지만 상당히 강력한 그런 말이죠. 다시 한번 가볼까요?
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph,
Then 그리고 나서 페로는 세트 조셉에게 말했습니다.
Since God has made all this known to you,
하나님이 has made all this known to you. 이 모든 것을 너한테 알려지게 하셨나니
there is no one
아무도 없느니라.
so discerning and wise as you.
Discerning and wise as you. 너만큼 discerning하고 wise, 분별력 있고 또 현명한 자는 없으리라. 이렇게 말했어요. 자, 들어볼까요?
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
한 번 더.
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
따라해 볼까요?
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
한 번 더.
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
Shadowing.
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
한 번 더.
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
한 번 더.
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you.
자, 재밌죠? 엄지척 좋아요 눌러서 추천해 주시고 아직도 구독 중이 아닌 상태로 듣고 계신 분 구독을 눌러서 구독 중으로 바꿔주시고 그 다음에 공유를 눌러서 이 좋은 강좌를 모르고 계시는 분들에게 이 강의 동영상을 보내시기 바랍니다. 자, 그럼 라이팅 꼼꼼하게 다 하시고 약 10분간 반복 낭송해서 지금 배운 말들이 입에서 술술 나오도록 연습해 두시기 바랍니다. 자, 그러면 주기도문으로 함께 기도드리도록 하죠. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Pharaoh's dreams. When 2 full years had passed, Pharaoh had a dream. He was standing by the Nile, when out of the river there came up 7 cows, sleek and fat, and they grazed among the reeds. After them, 7 other cows, ugly and gaunt, came up out of the Nile, and stood beside those on the riverbank. And the cows that were ugly and gaunt ate up the 7 sleek fat cows. Then Pharaoh woke up. He fell asleep again, and had a second dream. 7 heads of grain, healthy and good, were growing on a single stalk. After them, 7 other heads of grain sprouted, thin and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 healthy full heads. Then Pharaoh woke up. It had been a dream. In the morning his mind was troubled. So he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, "Today I am reminded of my shortcomings. Pharaoh was once angry with his servants, and he imprisoned me and the chief baker in the house of the captain of the guard. Each of us had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. Now a young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he interpreted them for us, giving each man the interpretation of his dream. And things turned out exactly as he interpreted them to us. I was restored to my position, and the other man was impaled." So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. When he had shaved and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I had a dream, and no one can interpret it. But I have heard it said of you, that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it." "I cannot do it," Joseph replied to Pharaoh, "but God will give Pharaoh the answer he desires." Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "In my dream I was standing on the bank of the Nile, when out of the river there came up 7 cows, fat and sleek, and they grazed among the reeds. After them 7 other cows came up, scrawny and very ugly and lean. I had never seen such ugly cows in all the land of Egypt. The lean, ugly cows ate up the 7 fat cows that came up first. But even after they ate them, no one could tell that they had done so. They looked just as ugly as before. Then I woke up. In my dream I saw 7 heads of grain, full and good, growing on a single stalk. After them 7 other heads sprouted, withered and thin, and scorched by the east wind. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 good heads. I told this to the magicians, but none of them could explain it to me." Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, "The dreams of Pharaoh are one and the same. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads of grain are 7 years. It is one and the same dream. The 7 lean, ugly cows that came up afterward are 7 years, and so are the 7 worthless heads of grain scorched by the east wind. They are 7 years of famine. It is just as I said to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming throughout the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. Then all the abundance in Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. The abundance in the land will not be remembered, because the famine that follows it will be so severe. The reason the dream was given to Pharaoh in 2 forms is that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon. And now let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man, and put him in charge of the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh appoint commissioners over the land, to take 1/5 of the harvest of Egypt during the 7 years of abundance. They should collect all the food of these good years that are coming, and store up the grain under the authority of Pharaoh, to be kept in the cities for food. This food should be held in reserve for the country, to be used during the 7 years of famine that will come upon Egypt, so that the country may not be ruined by the famine." The plan seemed good to Pharaoh and to all his officials. So Pharaoh asked them, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has made all this known to you, There is no one so discerning and wise as you.